Now you may be wondering, why would you drive it S2K in the snow? Long story short, I broke my truck today. This car actually does fairly well in the snow. It's got some like Nankang all seasons on it. It does way better than the FRS or the BRZ. Way better. It's actually drivable on snow. So this guy right here, this prong, completely burnt off. It's actually the next day, and I ran in this morning. And $100 later, we picked up a new fusible link setup. So let's go ahead and get it swapped out, and we should get the truck back on the road. $100 mistake. It could be a lot worse, but I guess lesson learned. Tighten your stuff. Don't leave your nuts loose. All right, truck's all finished up. We're good to go there. We have a few things we need to get finished up on the Evo 8. Every video that I posted the car, everybody always says put a radio in the thing. We've had this car for like, I don't even know, over a year and never have installed a radio in the car. We have the radio, we have the double-in dash kit, we have everything to do it. So today I wanna go ahead and get that knocked out. But before we pull off the lift, because the posts are in the way to get in the inside comfortably, I'm gonna go ahead and raise the car up just a little bit. This thing kind of used to be like a stance car, and I already did raise it a little bit from where it was, but I wanna go ahead and raise it even more, just because when she squats, when you're hauling ass, it does rub in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'll probably raise it up about a 1/2 inch total on all 4 corners. It does need an alignment as well. So let's get all that knocked out and we can move on to kind of buttoning up the interior of the 8. All right, we got this thing raised up. We got the alignment all finished up. Good to go there. Now we can move on to the interior. There's actually a couple different things we're doing. Of course, we're doing the radio install, but I also have, this is another JD Customs part I've had laying around forever, and I wanted to do it at the same time as the radio, just to keep interior stuff together. So I think this is gonna look pretty sick inside of our gauge cluster. A nice blue cluster overlay. I like tying the interior of the car to the exterior. I think it looks pretty cool. So let's go ahead. Let's do that first, see how that looks, and then we can move on to the radio. I'm actually really excited to get a radio finally in this car. It's definitely a lot of blue, but I feel like it still looks pretty dang good. I don't know, guys. Drop a comment down below. What do you guys think? Do you like better all black in the interior, or is that nice little bit of blue a good touch? I'm gonna leave it. I think it looks cool. Let's move on to the radio. So we are doing a doubled-in setup. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out all the parts for the radio that we need. We do need to relocate the climate control from where it's at now to down here. And then of course the radio is gonna go up here. So let's make sure before we start doing some relocation that we have all the parts that we need. All right, so this is everything that we have. We have I believe it's made by Pumpkin, one of the Android radios. I tend to want to install an Android radio in all the cars, so they're really, really nice. We have the bezel, which does need to be painted to match the rest of our interior. And here's the relocation for our climate control. So I think that's the first thing that I want to tackle real quick is the climate control relocation. We do have to do a little bit of trimming on the dash, like the brackets behind where this is gonna sit. So let's go ahead, start tearing the dash apart, and I'll show you guys what we gotta do. So we got the whole dash torn apart. I did pull out the brackets that, oh man, how do I explain this? When you do the HVAC relocation, being that we're moving it down, it does hit on the brackets down here. Usually I would try to like cut and trim around it, but this time around, I'm just gonna go ahead and lop the bracket in half. We still need the top half because that is what the radio bolts to, but the bottom half, I don't really think we need. The dash is completely solid, completely sturdy without these brackets at all. So we just need the top part to bolt the radio onto. The bottom part, the HVAC does not bolt onto at all. I'll show you guys how the HVAC is held up. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead, trim these probably from here to here on both sides and get them back in the car and we can get the HVAC installed. All right, so now these guys are gonna go back in the car. There is, I believe, 1 screw and 2 bolts for each of these brackets. They were a little bit tricky to get out, but being that we have it cut in half now, that eliminates one of the screws that was hard to get to. So we got the brackets back in and that is how it should look. So you can see the whole lower section is now cut off and we have all of the space in the world for the climate control to slip down in there. So that's what we're gonna do now. Climate control screws onto this relocation bracket through those 2 holes there, and then it screws into the dash, 2 screws there, clips in, and it's all finished up. Hardest part is done. Climate control relocation is installed. This is the eBay kit, and to my surprise, it fits really, really well. It matches the factory dash, which is nice. Let's go ahead and get on the stickers and the knobs, make sure everything works smoothly, and we can move on to the radio, which I do need to go pick up a harness for. I thought I did order a harness, or maybe it would come with something. For some reason, I thought I had a harness, but I do not have a harness, so I'm banking on a local auto parts store to carry one. Hopefully they do. I want the cake. Alrighty, I am excited. This is like the last thing, unfortunately, like the last thing to do to this Evo, but everything works like it should. Temp, I know you guys can't see. Temp works. That guy works. That guy works. Nice and clean, simple yet effective. Let's rip in the Dirty Max, go grab the harness that we need, and we can get her installed. Just got back from a parts run, and this is the harness that we picked up. Let's hope this is the right one. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it into the car, make sure she's good to go. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and get this thing wired up. They already have a connector on here, and I'm not sure why or sure what it's for. So we need to cut off this connector off of the radio harness and install this connector here. Should be fairly easy. So I'm just gonna take the colors off of this guy here and connect them onto this harness, and let's hope it works. We got everything connected except for the black wire on the radio side. There's no black wire for the car side, which black you'd assume it's a ground. You would assume you kind of need it. I'm gonna go ahead, plug in the radio and see if it works without that. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, we'll have to figure out what to do. So far, it looks like she's gonna work just fine with that black wire not connected. Curious to see how good this thing is. I do like that it has a knob. I think that's super, super handy. Let's just see if she works. I'm not getting any audio. Ground wire does have to be connected. With it connected, we do got audio. So let's go ahead and just get this full thing installed and see how it looks, see how it works, see if it's worth the money. And what I'm doing to connect the ground is I'm just gonna put a little eyelet, I guess you'd call it, on the end of it, and I'll just bolt it to one of those bolts up in there. Look what I just found. An Evo 8 harness. Went to go grab the brackets for the radio, and the harness was sitting right inside there. I knew I had one somewhere. Of course, I find it after I buy a new one. All right, radio's in. I do need to paint that bezel to match the rest of the interior, but it looks good. And so far, it seems to be working pretty dang good if I can find the key. It's the same concept as all my other radios. Seems to be pretty fast. And she has all the other gadgets that all the other radios have, which is cool. I can appreciate it. I did not install the antenna, this GPS antenna. I don't need that. I'm just gonna use the one off my phone. And then this microphone. Of course, you cannot talk in a straight piped Evo 8, nor do I ever plan to. So I didn't install any of that stuff. Just got the radio in. That was it. It's all good to go. Anything that we installed today, I'll link down below. Radio, the double DIN dash kit, and the JDC parts with my discount code. I'll have all that linked down below. Stoked with how the 8 is currently sitting. I don't know what else to do to it. Maybe I'll change the color. I don't really know. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Peace out, my friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow.